On question 3 for the 2023 free response questions, set number 1. So question 3 says this. We are going to be doing the graph showing the demand, the marginal revenue, the ATC, the AVC, and the marginal cost for a typical profit maximizing firm in a perfectly competitive market producing good X. So on our scratch sheet, remember, I like to write out everything that they gave me. So they told me profit max, so that means we're doing MR equals MC. They also told me it was perfect competition, so that means that our price is also our demand, and it's also our marginal revenue. Okay, now A. Calculate the total fixed cost. Well, there's a couple ways we can find total fixed cost. Number one, it's our total cost at zero quantity. Number two, we could also do the AFC times the quantity. Okay. So there's two ways we can find this. Okay. Now, did they give you the total cost? Do you know what your total cost is at zero quantity? No, we don't, because it's way up here, right? We don't know what that is. So it's impossible to know the total cost at zero quantity. But what do you know? You do know that your AFC is the ATC minus the AVC. If you're wondering where we're getting that from, remember that your total cost is your total fixed cost plus your total variable cost, so therefore your average total cost is going to be the average fixed cost plus the average variable cost. So all we do is we move this around, and then we get to this problem here. So it doesn't matter what number you pick, but what we're going to do is all we're going to do is ATC minus the AVC. All right. So pick any number, right? 4, 6, 8, 10. It doesn't matter. Okay. But let's say we pick 6. What's my ATC at 6? Well, I go straight up to my ATC, and that happens at 21. Then, what's my AVC? Well, at quantity 6, I go straight across, and it's 9. So I pick a quantity, such as 6, and I go straight up. I will also be picking quantity 4, just in case you want to see a different quantity, but we're going to get to the same answer. Okay. So let's see here. I'm going to go straight up to the ATC, and I see my ATC is 26. I can also do the AVC, and that happens at 8. Okay. So let's do that. So for A, quantity equals 6, ATC equal to, let's take another look here. ATC, if a quantity is 6, is 21, and the AVC is 9. So ATC is 21, AVC is 9. So what does that mean? That means the AFC is 12. So if the AFC is 12 and the quantity is 6, that has to mean the total fixed cost is 72. If we did quantity 4, your ATC is equal to 26, because quantity 4, 26, and your AVC is 8. So 26, AVC is 8. So that means your AFC is 26 minus 8. So that means your AFC is equal to 18. And your quantity is 4. So that means your total fixed cost is equal to 18 times 4. And if you were to do the math on that one, you get total fixed cost is equal to 72. So it doesn't matter what number quantity you pick, right? Because either way, you're doing the same formula. You're doing ATC minus AVC, which will give you the AFC, and then that will give you the total fixed cost. So for the answer for A, all you would need to put is you would put quantity equals 6, ATC equals 21, AVC equals 9. So AFC equals 12. Therefore, total fixed cost equals 12 times 6, which equals 72. Okay. Part B. Part B says identify the price and Hansel's Hangouts profit maximizing quantity. Remember, profit maximizing happens where MR equals MC. Okay, so let's go to the graph here. As you can see, your profit max happens right here, where MC equals MR, right there. So to find quantity, you're going to go straight down. That gives you 6. And to find price, you're going to go up to demand, which is 14. Okay, so identify the price and quantity for good X. So part B, you would say the profit max quantity is 6 and the price is 14. Okay. Alrighty. So calculate Hansel's Hangouts economic profit at the quantity in part B. So what you need to do for economic profit, okay, is that you need the formula. So economic profit, remember, is your total revenue minus your total explicit cost minus your implicit cost. Okay, which means your total cost, like explicit plus implicit, so your total cost. All right. Another way that we can find profit is by doing price minus ATC times the quantity. So there's two ways we can do this, all right? I would go with the one where we know what actually is going on. So for instance, do you know the total revenue? Well, they didn't really give you the total revenue. Do you know price? Yes. Do you know your ATC? Yes. Do you know your quantity? Yes. So go with the one that's easy. If they gave you total revenue, use total revenue minus total cost. If they gave you price and ATC, use that one. So for part C, your price, as we just saw, was 14. That is your profit max price, 14. And then your quantity is 6. Now, here's the deal. If your quantity is 6, what is your ATC? Okay, go from 6, go all the way up to ATC. And what you're going to find is that your ATC is equal to 21. So the formula for your answer would be 14 minus 21 times the quantity, which is 6. So profit equals negative 7 times 6. Profits equal negative 42. And that's your answer for C. Part D. As the market for good X adjusts to the long-run equilibrium, what will happen to the price of good X? So long-run equilibrium means what? That means that we are doing price equals ATC. Also, you're making losses, and what do you know what happens next? Losses, firms exit. When firms exit, supply goes down. When supply goes down, price goes up. So as the market for good X adjusts to the long-run equilibrium, what will happen to the price of good X? So what you're going to say is the price of good X will increase because firms will exit the market when there are losses, which will decrease supply and increase price until price equals ATC. That's my answer for D. Price will increase because the firms will exit. All right, now part E. So what they say is that your cross-price elasticity of demand between good X and good Z is positive. Now, when that means it's positive, that means good X and C are substitutes. Substitutes, because it's a positive number. If it was a negative number, that would mean that they are complements. But because it is a positive number, that means they're substitutes. Okay, so what happened to the price of good X? Well, as we just saw, we said price of good X will increase. If the price of X goes up, do you buy more X or less X? You're going to buy less X because it's more expensive. If you're buying less X, what happens to your demand for C? Your demand for C will go up because they're substitutes. So for the answer for E, what you would say is the quantity demanded for good C will increase because, well, I'm going to say since good X's price increases and good X and good C are substitutes. So consumers will buy less X and more good C. That's my answer for E. The quantity demanded because the price is increasing and the good X and good C are substitutes. All right, so that's how we find the question here, right? So we found the total fixed cost, and how we did that was we had to find the average fixed cost, and then we do that, the average times the quantity, that gives us the total. We then do profit max quantity, which is MR equals MC. The next thing we found was the profits, which we will use price minus ATC times quantity. Your price is 14 and your quantity is 6. At that quantity, your ATC is 21. So your profits are negative 42. The next one is we're going to adjust to the long run equilibrium. Because you're making losses, firms will exit, which will decrease supply and increase the price until price equals ATC. Finally, because the cross-price elasticity is positive, that means the goods are substitutes. Therefore, because the price of X increases, the quantity demanded of C will increase. All right? So that was all of the 2023 free response questions for set number 1. If you had any questions that you're still confused on, please leave me a comment below. I'd be happy to help you out in any way I can. I will now be moving on to the set 2 questions for the microeconomics exam. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye.